Following up on that significant cliffhanger from the Season 2 opener, Peacemaker's latest episode highlights some of its strongest features. The debut of Peacemaker Season 2 immediately captivated me once more, even though I wasn't sure what to anticipate from the show's comeback after 3 years. The second episode focuses on the 2 significant occurrences that result from Peacemaker's interdimensional journey. Argus's reaction to Christopher Smith's journey to a different dimension is the second, whereas the first was the death of his alternate universe self, which was a fitting way to begin the season. How much of an impact Argus will have on Peacemaker's multi-layered plot intrigues me. The latest episode of Peacemaker features a good balance of heartfelt moments and outrageous shenanigans. James Gunn's ability to skillfully blend humor, action, and emotion makes it one of his greatest assets. It's good that Peacemaker's story is more insular and concentrates on character development because multiverse-like stories typically have a wider perspective. The regular version of John Cena's Peacemaker unintentionally killed his other-world self in order to save his life in the startling conclusion of the Season 2 premiere. I immediately imagined how that may unfold throughout the season, but I was surprised by how the series would truly handle the fallout. One of the most graphic scenes in a live-action multiverse scenario is shown in the quantum unfolding chamber when Peacemaker summons the amusing vigilante. In one humorous moment, Cena's character tries and fails to conceal his deceased counterpart. Although it may be considered excessively gloomy, Peacemaker and Vigilante's dismemberment and burning of his variation is also the reason it works. The show's TVMA rating isn't the only reason it's gloomy. As Season 2 progresses, Peacemaker, a character we have come to know as delicate despite his tough demeanor, has a devastating occurrence that could result in intriguing inner strife. The friendship between Peacemaker and Emilia Harcourt appears to be considerably more significant in Season 2. Harcourt and Peacemaker dated aboard a party boat, although it wasn't shown on film. He doesn't believe it was an error, but she does. One of the best parts of the concert highlights the dynamic. Despite its reputation for coarse humor and gory action, Peacemaker's strongest point is its cast of characters. The episode emphasizes how the 11th Street kids have formed a bond akin to that of a family. The Welcome Home celebration hosted by John Economos is the ideal setting for exploring the different relationships among its principal actors. Economos and Adebayo have a heart to heat, Vigilante is still wonderfully funny, and Peacemaker makes a vain attempt to persuade Harcourt to open up. As a result, Chris decides to pursue Harcourt, an alternate universe, which can't work out. Episode 2 makes it clear that Rick Flag Sr.'s primary motivation for observing Christopher Smith is because he killed his son, even though Episode 1 indicated that Argus want to prevent Peacemaker from posing another interdimensional threat similar to the Luthor incident in James Gunn's Superman film. The memories of the day he learned worked. It was devastating to relive Rick Flag's death in the Suicide Squad, and I don't blame Frank Grillo's character for seeking retribution for the loss of his kid. He didn't see Peacemaker's transformation into a real hero by the conclusion of Season 1, after all. This season, one of the main questions should be if Flag can see that side of him. Lastly, Season 2 features Tim Meadows as Agent Langston Fleury, who is a great addition. His bird blindness, which turns into a brilliant running comedy, makes the character funny. Gunn's abilities are further demonstrated by giving Eagly one of DC's best action scenes, which is also pretty gory. I can't wait to see Peacemaker's alternate universe trip next week. Chris and his own doppelganger engage in a violent altercation that culminates with the death of the other Chris in the Season 2 opener. Episode 2 begins with Chris still in the quantum unfolding storage unit, trying to conceal his error. But it doesn't function, so Chris needs to call for assistance. Luckily, Adrian, one of his friends, refuses to inquire about the assignment. To keep his family from finding out and pursuing Chris, they jointly dispose of the doppelganger's body. It's a hilarious, if somewhat unsettling, bonding moment for the friends as they get their own montage. The group does, however, have a more lively scene where they get back together for a party in celebration of Economos' homecoming. This gives fans the familiar dynamic as they dance and celebrate, and Adebayo and Economos even get to talk about how Chris and Harcourt's relationship started. However, Chris confronts Harcourt about her propensity for fighting, which leads to a confrontation between them. The party scene in episode 2 enables the teasing but ultimately affectionate group dynamic that season 1 established, even though it doesn't materially advance the plot.